So, today's scenario, you are on your 125cc motorcycle and you get yourself hopelessly lost and you end up finding yourself on a motorway. Well, what the hell do you do? Well, that's exactly what I want to go over in today's video, everybody. On the wife's wicked little Kawasaki Ninja 125, I have removed the L plates off this bike as well to make this a little bit more legit, because here in the UK, technically, you are not allowed to ride one of these motorcycles on a motorway if you are a learner or if you have an L plate on your bike, which I think is a little bit stupid, to be perfectly honest with you. But anyway, let's not get into the semantics. Let's jump on and let's do this. Alright everyone, this is one of those things where I can see it happening to someone somewhere. And I've never actually been on a motorway with this motorcycle because obviously it's been my wife's bike this whole time, and well, she's never allowed to go on a motorway with this bike. This is going to be quite an interesting little experiment. But I think the main thing is not to panic. For some reason, new road users, whether that is, I don't know, driving cars or riding bikes, seem to get really intimidated by motorways. And honestly, it's some of the easiest driving / riding you'll ever do. But the key thing is not to panic. We are going to be approaching a motorway in the next few minutes here. But honestly, like, the hardest part is probably joining the motorway. Once you're on the motorway, you should be alright. And you don't have to worry about going super fast either, alright? If you want to do 50 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour, these bikes are capable of 70. But if that's what you're comfortable doing, then do that. Ride a little bit slower, but just make sure you stay on the farthest lane over on the left-hand side of the road. That's really important. But for the most part, it's going to feel a lot like riding on a dual carriageway that's a 60, 70 mile an hour road, a little bit like the one that we're going to come on to now. Yeah, I do find it a little bit silly that motorway riding and motorway driving aren't taught as part of getting your license or getting your CBT, even though you're not supposed to be riding these kinds of bikes on motorways. Like I said earlier, it's one of those things I can just see happening, whether by accident or deliberately, or someone simply didn't know. I can see this happening here in the UK, and I don't know what the rules are in Europe and the rest of the world, but I do see this being a little bit of a problem here in the UK, to be perfectly honest with you, because you're going to be nervous, you're going to be like really anxious, because you're going to have all this fast moving traffic all around you. You're on roads that you've never ridden before, and it's all going to feel very, very scary. But all I need you to do is stay calm when you're doing this. Alright, let's move over into this lane if someone will let me. Yeah, staying calm, I think, is key to this, because once you're on the motorway, once you're riding in a straight line, you really don't have to worry about anything until you find an exit. But yeah, I can see people like panicking when they're about to get on a motorway. They just realize, oh my goodness, I'm about to get on a motorway, I shouldn't be on here. And they try panicking, they try doing something like, I don't know, turning around on like the what are they called, the joining lanes, the runways, so to speak. And that is a really bad idea, because cars are going to be trying to get up to 60, 70 mile an hour before they reach the motorway, before they actually join the motorway. So whatever you do, don't stop, just keep going and keep following the road. Alright, here we go, we're about to join this motorway. Now, I'm familiar with this motorway, the M5, and I know pretty much where I'm going here. But you have got to be in quite a pickle to find yourself on a motorway, let's be perfectly honest here. God, this is exciting, doing a little little adventure on the Ninja 125. Alright, so this, as I mentioned earlier, is the hardest part of joining a motorway, and that is getting up to speed. What you want to do is you want to match the speed that is already on the road. So whatever cars are on the inside lane here, the left-hand lane, you want to try and match the speed as best you can. It is a little bit more difficult when you've got cars in front of you that aren't trying to match the speed of traffic, but there you go, just indicate, look over your shoulder, look in your mirror, and you're on. Alright, that there is the hardest bit, trust me. And now all you gotta do is just follow the road. It's gonna feel very windy on a little bike like this with no weight to it. I mean, I think this bike weighs less than 150 kilograms wet. It weighs absolutely nothing, and when you're doing these kinds of speed and lots of crosswind, you're really going to feel it on the bike. So feel free to tuck in if you want to give yourself a little bit of brace against the wind. But pretty much now all you got to do is just ride in a straight line. Stay in this lane here, stay in the far left hand lane. Don't even think about going into those other lanes. Traffic is going to be moving much faster than you are. Alright, make sure you're in a higher gear as well, safe gear, so you're cruising. But yeah, at this point you're good. Alright, don't panic. It's typical, isn't it? We've got a traffic officer right in front of us. If I was wearing my L plates on the bike, if I had the L plates on, they might try and pull me over at the moment. Alright, if they do, again, don't panic, just move over onto the hard shoulder, or where are they, you know, wherever it's safe pretty much, and just explain to them that you got yourself lost, you didn't mean to get on the motorway, and you're just trying to find your way off. All you got to do is just wait until the exit shows up. You'll know when the exit is approaching because you're going to get 3 signs. You'll get a sign with 3 diagonal lines, then after that you'll get a sign with 2 diagonal lines, and you get one last sign with 1 diagonal line just before the exit, and that tells you that the exit is approaching, so you should start indicating off. This is a skill, but to be honest with you, once you've done it a few times, it really isn't a big deal. This is some of the easiest riding you will ever do, and well, some of the most boring riding you'll ever do as well. But if this ever happens to you, see this traffic cop here is starting to indicate, you see these signs here with the diagonal lines telling you that the exit is coming up, so I'm indicating left. I'm looking in my left hand mirror just in case there's anything on the hard shoulder coming up on my inside, but there isn't. And then I just take the exit. Alright, now that was a fairly short stint on a motorway. There are some distances between exits that are huge, tens of miles apart. If that is the case, don't worry, just keep following it until you find the next exit. Once you've found the next exit, try and find somewhere to pull over and figure out where you are, right? Most of us have got Google Maps, most of us have got Apple Maps or something like that. And just try and figure out a route. Find your way, just navigate home on the app, and then try to figure out a way home without going back on the motorway again. Usually on these apps they've got a selection for avoid motorways. Just select that and you'll be able to find your way back, no problem. Alright, it's like, well, on this bike I don't have any mounts or anything like that for phones, so you will have to pull over and check every once in a while to make sure you are going the right way. But if you are lost, don't panic. That's part of the adventure, that's part of the fun. Trying to find your way back, trying to navigate your way back is one of those things that I like to do regularly, because it really does keep your orientation skills really sharp, and understanding landmarks, understanding what signs are saying, so understanding where locations are, what they're saying, and understanding whether or not that is going the right direction or not. Understanding these things is really important, and I think unfortunately it's one of those skills that really you can only get by doing it. Actively getting yourselves lost and trying to find your way back. It is much harder said than done, but I do enjoy the adventure, getting myself lost. I don't know, that might be a challenge that we'll have to do at some point. I don't know how we do it. Maybe we need a trailer or something like that, and the wife like blindfolds me and takes me somewhere that I'm not familiar with at all and try and find my way back home. That would be a fun little video to shoot. But I mean, there you have it, everyone. I'm now stuck in traffic, and well, I'm in the clear, but I had plenty of opportunities to pull myself over and check my phone, see where I am, or maybe even call someone see if they can come and find you, maybe using their sat nav in a car or something like that. They'll come and find you, and then they guide you back home. That is something else you could do as well. But if you're totally on your own and there's no help coming for you, well, yeah, use your phone and kind of get a general idea of where you are. I mean, you could even look at the map, and instead of actually planning a route, you could look at the map and think to yourself, right, I know where this town is. I need to follow signs towards that town. Once you've found that town, you should know your way back from there. But it was a fun little video today, and I'll tell you what, the Ninja 125 did alright on the motorway. It can only get up to 72, 73 mile an hour on the speedometer with a fat guy like me on it. Well, I'm not so fat, but I am. I weigh 90 kilograms. I was about to say 90 kilograms wet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 90 kilograms. So I'm a fairly heavy passenger for this bike, and it took it quite well, and the wind actually wasn't so bad. But I have ridden on motorways before on small bikes, and it can be terrifying when you got crosswinds, like blowing, what feels like blowing the tires out from underneath you. But alright everybody, well, I'll let you go for today's video. It's a nice short one today, and hopefully this helps you out. At least, you know, in future, if you ever find yourself in this position, then hopefully this video will help you out. But thank you all so much for joining me on this ride, on this little adventure on the wife's wicked Kawasaki Ninja 125. And we will catch you all in the next video, everybody. Don't forget to leave that like and hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comment section if you've done this, if you've accidentally found yourself on a motorway without knowing why. Let me know down in the comment section and how that ended up happening. But yeah, thanks again, take care, ride safe. We'll catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.